This week on eNews, why this year's flu vaccine is proving to be less than effective, how social media is giving Lethbridge College students a voice, and the hot streak that the Kodiak's basketball teams carried into Christmas continues.
Welcome to eNews. I'm Jessica Goose.
And I'm Kiana Nelson. Here's today's top story. More and more cases of the flu are popping up across southern Alberta, with 166 cases recorded across Canada alone. I went to find the scoop on just why this year's flu season is at its worst.
Influenza A, H3N2.
Several cases of influenza have been reported in the southern Alberta area in the last few weeks. Alberta Health Services says this year's flu vaccine has not been effective in protecting people from the H3N2 strain and others. With school back in session, students are at risk of contracting the flu virus, primarily due to students being in close proximity to one another or not always sanitizing their hands. Health Services Manager Becky Tagg says that students have a bad habit of not getting the flu shot, but have changed their mindset with this epidemic outbreak.
But people definitely are coming down and asking questions. There are people who now need to get the flu shot because, for programs, or they're just finally getting around to it, and this is the last kick to make them do that.
At this point in time, the strain of influenza A, H3N2, has been spreading just as quickly as last year's outbreak of influenza A, H1N1. Medical Health Officer Dr. Vivian Sutorp says that influenza A, H3N2, has significantly changed from what's in the vaccine to prevent it. She recommends that students go and get the vaccine.
We are still recommending the vaccine for the reason, yes, there's still some level of protection. And secondly, there are other strains circulating as well, and they usually pick up over the influenza period.
This outbreak is proof of the importance of practicing ways to prevent contracting the flu. Practical nursing student Alyssa Suter says it involves more than just washing your hands.
Getting enough rest, good nutrition, exercise, and if people are sick, just not sharing things with them, etc.
If you have any flu-like symptoms, Dr. Vivian Sutorp recommends that you stay at home or seek medical treatment right away.
The winter semester of 2015 is underway and the numbers are in. Lethbridge College has seen significant enrollment increase compared to previous years. Cole Smith has more on the story.
School is back in session at Lethbridge College as the winter semester kicks off the beginning of 2015. And the college has seen a big increase in students enrolled, with a 13 to 15% increase from last year. This increase has been the result of the college's huge online course and programs, which are considered the front-runner of online courses in Alberta. The Lethbridge College Registrar, Marco Hilgersom, says most of the increases seen this semester are due to this huge online diploma program.
And what we're finding is more and more students are doing online programming. We've invested a lot in online programming and online courses over the last 5 years.
As expected, some courses at Lethbridge College have seen bigger increases than others. Some of these programs include agricultural sciences, child and youth care, general studies, wind turbine technician, and business administration. Business administration offers a variety of courses for students, including some online courses. The popularity of these courses is because diplomas like this can easily translate to a wide variety of jobs for students upon graduation. Chair of School of Business, Rita Helma, says why she thinks there's an increase in her diploma programs.
Well, a lot of times people come to a point in their career where they find that, gee, I'm not sure that I want to do this for the rest of my life. So people come back to school. Sometimes that happens in September, sometimes it happens in January. The skills that you gain in a business program are useful in whether you work in business, whether you work for a not-for-profit organization, whether you work in government, in education.
A new year brought new communication technology at Lethbridge College. Office 365 has officially been launched on campus. Students came back this semester and have had to adjust to the new email program. Office 365 was introduced last semester as a pilot project to a small group of students so that the IT department could work out its flaws. Customer Service Supervisor Ben Bennett says since then, those flaws have been resolved. He adds that if students have problems now, the IT department is quick to respond.
Or anything, really. Okay. Now that we've got all the students on board, there's probably fewer types of issues, but of course those little issues that do come up, we're affecting a lot more people. So, but they tend to be still relatively small numbers, and we're able to handle them pretty quickly.
For introducing Office 365 on campus, Microsoft has included 5 downloads of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other programs for students and staff free of charge.
The maintenance team at the college has its work cut out for it. With unpredictable snowfalls and changes in the wind patterns, the health and safety of the students and staff is of the utmost importance. The health and safety team makes it a priority to check the upcoming weather forecast, as well as having staff on call in case of unexpected weather. Maintenance workers are expected to sand the roads in the event of snowfall, as well as de-ice the sidewalks and remove snow from the parking lots.
Facilities people are aware of the situation usually the night before. If they know it's going to snow, they'll come in early to make sure that the walkways and the parking lots are cleared.
Sapone says his team hopes to ensure the safety of the staff and students here at the college while on foot of their vehicle.
In other winter-related news, the city of Lethbridge is in the early stages of planning and designing a possible new tobogganing hill. As Eric Mickelson reports, one member of council hopes it's a safe recreational facility for citizens.
Tobogganing is not only a Canadian tradition, but a winter tradition in many families. Thoughts of braving the winter cold to race down the fastest hill are on the minds of every child when the snow hits the ground. Many cities embrace this outdoor activity as a way of getting children outside and doing something physical. The city of Lethbridge has plans to design a toboggan hill into their new Northside Park, but hasn't said anything about regulating the use of helmets. City Councillor Jeff Carlson believes that all municipalities have a duty to provide people with recreational facilities.
I've always been of the opinion that we should try and encourage people to get outside and do as many activities outside as possible, and we should provide for those. We know that we want our citizens to be as safe as possible no matter what they're doing, whether it's driving a car, skateboarding, tobogganing, biking. But I think just more opportunities for people to get outside, get active, the better.
When the city built Scenic Drive south beside me here through the coulees years ago, it created this small park which they decided to grass instead of leaving it unfinished. Many locals now call it the Sugar Bowl. The Sugar Bowl is known for its bowl-like design and hills of different intensity level. Lethbridge mother of 2, Charity Shaver, brings her children to the Sugar Bowl about twice a week, weather dependent. She has taught her children that a helmet is always a requirement.
Where's your helmet?
I don't bring a helmet.
You should! I think if there's a helmet designed for something, for a sport, that you should wear it. And there's helmets designed for winter sports, and it's hard. I've wiped out a few times snowboarding and stuff like that, and was wearing a helmet, thankfully, and I think if I hadn't been, that my life would be a different case right now.
Shaver says that she tries to teach her children the power of common sense when it comes to winter activities and their safety.
That they know to be aware of their surroundings, you know, to look at the hill. Don't count on somebody else to make that decision for you if it's going to be safe or something, to just pay attention to what's going on if you're going to do it.
The new toboggan hill would reduce the density of people currently using the Sugar Bowl. Until a decision is made, the city urges people to take care of themselves and others at the park. Coming up after the break, we'll find out how a new program at Lethbridge College is doing, and tell all a story, the home brewing secrets that make your homebrew a winner.
Crime Stoppers and Lethbridge Regional Police need your help in solving a theft. Sometime after 9 a.m. on November 16th, items from a Christmas display in Center Village Mall were taken. 2 native males, one wearing a sheepskin jacket and the other wearing a black and yellow winter jacket, were seen entering the mall. A large stuffed teddy bear was taken from the Toy Mountain display, and a baby Jesus figurine was taken from the Nativity display. The 2 men were seen leaving the mall and walking east toward Canadian Tire. If you have any information on this or any crime, please contact Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 for information leading to an arrest. Remember, you will not have to attend court or testify, and you will remain anonymous. We want your information, not your name.
Welcome to Campus Horizons. I'm Demi Knight and I'm here with Vicky Hedgedis. So Vicki, how does the DCM program differ from the Communication Arts program?
Well, I think the biggest difference is that the Digital Communications and Media program has two distinct streams, digital journalism and media production and advertising. Our former program had three majors, advertising and public relations, broadcast journalism, and print journalism. And we felt that those didn't really reflect how the industry works today, and we felt that it was important to make a change.
Okay. Why do you think it was necessary to update the program?
Well, it's a process that we go through regularly at Lethbridge College. So about every 5 years, each of the programs does go through a curriculum review. We knew that it was time to do one for our communication arts program. And so that was part of the normal process. And we also knew that there were changes in the industry, and we wanted our curriculum to reflect that.
And how does the new program address changes in the industry?
Well, we had our instructors work very extensively with people from our advisory committee and other people who are working in the industry to make sure that our courses were up to date. So we did take some courses out of the old program that we didn't want to use anymore. We've added in some new courses, and in some cases we've recombined curriculum outcomes so that the things you do in class as a student would be things that you're actually doing in the workplace when you have your first job.
Oh, thanks so much. That's all the time we have. We'll see you next.
Welcome back. The recent snowfall has made the parking controversy at Lethbridge College worse. Students continue to have a tough time finding parking on and off campus. I got the chance to speak with a couple people to find out if it's worth parking here at the college or if students are better served off campus. Just under 4,000 people attend Lethbridge College. Around half of them use the designated parking lots on campus. Students looking to save some cash and don't mind a small walk can park for free at the NMAX and Soccer Center. But with the weather getting colder and the snow piling up, the NMAX Center closed its gates last week, which caused an uproar. Bookstore employee Cassandra Balfour says students who parked there got frustrated and immediately came to purchase a parking pass.
So after the whole snow and NMAX closing, there was a little panic and everybody came and bought them.
The NMAX only closed its doors for 2 days to clear out the snow. Unfortunately, a number of students did make the purchase of a non-refundable pass. Renewable Resource Management student Travis Wilson was one of those who went straight to the bookstore but feels like he still made the right choice.
When the NMAX closed down the parking, I got kind of worried, so I came in here and bought a parking pass, not knowing that a couple days later they opened it back up, and I guess it was just snow removal stuff.
Some students still choose to park in the designated college parking spots without a pass. But as manager of caretaking services Perry Albert says that although the cold temperatures make the students want to park illegally, they don't do it too often as the price of tickets can add up.
Certainly we ticket a number of people every day that are willing to take the chance on getting a parking ticket as opposed to buying a permit. And generally we find though that people don't do it all the time, because certainly after 3 or 4 tickets you would be better off to buy a permit to begin with.
Albert says with just under 100 days left of the school year, your best bet is to purchase a semester pass at the LC bookstore for $147.
The Piikani First Nation has a newly elected chief and council, and the winds of change are blowing through the community. The new group features some new faces. The people of the Piikani First Nations over the last 2 years have seen major ups and downs within chief and council, including chief strikes with a gun being removed from allegations of questionable management practices.
We're always told that there's all kinds of opportunities and all kinds of money coming into our reserve, but we never ever see any of that. So there's no transparency, there's no accountability to us, and more of our past leadership has basically just locked us out of the doors.
Greer was elected chief by 260 votes. With so many issues facing the new tribal council, the Piikani First Nation will be under the microscope. You can follow the development on the Piikani First Nations Facebook page.
The First Nations, Métis, and Inuit Student Services at Lethbridge College is gearing up for a steady diet of Fry Bread Fridays. This event is put on once a month. As Rachel Crow Spreading Wings reports, students and the FNMI advisor group get together to make the yummy treat.
Food always brings people from all backgrounds together.
Traditionally, when someone has a visitor, they're always fed regardless if they're hungry or not. Fry bread and other dishes like berry soup have become an important staple within FMNI culture. However, it has not always been a traditional food.
There was a ration house. So at the ration house, they would give out just, very little things, just kind of basic food products. So part of that was flour, all the products to make bread. Bread isn't a traditionally in Blackfoot diet, especially in this area, where more like meat and berries, whatever you can get naturally.
In today's FMNI culture, fry bread or bannock is included at family dinners and all types of public events.
Everybody expects it at our family dinners, and all the kids are always saying that, how come you can't make fry bread like Vic, or how come you can't make fry bread like your mom?
Every first Friday throughout the school year at Lethbridge College is known as Fry Bread Friday.
Every family has their own secrets about how to make the perfect batch of fry bread. While it hasn't always been a traditional part of FMNI culture, it has definitely become a part of every family gathering and every ceremony. For eNews, I'm Rachel Crow Spreading Wings.
There will be flyers and posters around the college announcing the next event. Fry bread is free for students and staff. However, donations are accepted and will be applied towards other FMNI events.
It's a trend that's sweeping Canadian colleges and universities. Confession pages are taking Facebook by storm. Recently, after a brief hiatus, the popular LC Confessions made a comeback. Sam Borsato took a look at how the page is being received by staff and students.
No, it came out of her vagina.
It's quickly become the voice of Lethbridge College students. Launched September 1st, 2013, LC Confessions is a Facebook page where students can anonymously post anything they want. Creator Brandon McGraw says he even kept his identity anonymous for some time. McGraw says that he wanted to create a space where people could express themselves.
I kind of saw it as a thing to give people that can't really talk for themselves, much like myself when I was younger, kind of give them that voice.
A number of colleges and universities across the U.S. and Canada have caught on to this trend. However, they have been the cause of a lot of controversy. McGraw says there were many obstacles to overcome with the college when the page first started. Students and even some staff are torn over the subject.
It's definitely a good laugh sometimes, but then there's confessions on there that are probably not necessary and shouldn't be posted.
I think it keeps people connected socially and lets them know what's going on in people's lives more than just the academic side of things.
The page now has over 7,000 posts, with dozens more being posted daily. For eNews, I'm Sam Borsato.
Confessions about crushes have been so popular that an LC Crushes page has been started as well.
Beer. It's a beverage that brings joy to many and also brings joy to those who have taken up the art of its creation. A local pair of brewmasters are examples of just how tedious but rewarding this hobby can be. Crucial reports.
Home brewing has grown in popularity over the last few years. Craft beer and interest in microbreweries across the world has been a significant factor in the increased activity involved with this hobby. There are many ways of going about do-it-yourself brewing, from store-bought kits to going the old trial-and-error route, in your parents' tiny laundry room. Home brewing can be beneficial for many reasons, including being able to create a beer that is exactly the way you want it to taste, with ingredients you trust, and at a price far below what would be required to purchase similar beverages at your favorite local watering hole. Brewmaster student Giuseppe Zappone got into home brewing a little over a year ago. What began with simple store-bought kits soon expanded to using intricate recipes and brewing techniques.
I bet you in 2 years I've probably tried 500 different types of beer. Then thought, I want to try making my own. I want to see how this goes, and just kind of exploded from there.
Zappone says the process he follows takes roughly 2 months to complete. The fermentation takes about 2 weeks and carbonating takes over a month. He says the fermented beer is mixed with sugar. The beer then gets bottled, and as it sits, the excess yeast creates carbon dioxide, which is unable to escape, resulting in the carbonation of the beer. Zappone didn't create this batch of beer by himself, though. Keenan Harrison recently took an interest in home brewing after some time getting into the world of craft beer.
Meeting Giuseppe over here has always been a little bit of a push to actually learn how to make beer, because he's been doing it for a while.
According to the duo, roughly 90% of the time spent homebrewing is cleaning and sanitizing. After all, neither could bear the thought of getting sick from beer. For eNews, I'm Kirsten Crucial.
This particular batch of beer has been dubbed Browntown Brown Ale and was inspired by Mill Street's Vanilla Porter.
Time now for a look at weather. Here's Taylor Wall with what you can expect for your work week.
It's been a bit of a chilly winter so far this year, but fortunately we're seeing a warm front coming through over the next week. On Monday, we'll be a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 3, dropping down to -2 overnight. For Tuesday, we're going to see a mix of sun and clouds again with a high of 2, dropping down to -5 overnight. Wednesday, the sun's popping right back out with a high of 1. For Thursday, the clouds will be heavy, but no snow, with a high of +1. And for Friday, the sun's coming right back out with a high of 2. The nice temperatures will continue into the weekend.
Thanks, Taylor. Straight ahead, an interview with a Kodiak's international star player. And some tips and tricks to keep you up with that pesky New Year's resolution.
Hi, and welcome to the Kodiak Report. I'm Eric Mickelson, and we're here with Kai Hestheimer from the men's volleyball team. Thanks for joining us. So you had a strong end to the last half of the season. How are you guys feeling going into the next half?
Well, we're optimistic, and we feel confident that we will be able to play even better in this second half if we really give it all that we got.
Okay. What do you think the Kodiak's greatest strength is as a team?
It's that we're all friends, I think, both on and off court, and we have probably, I would say, the best bench in the ACAC.
Okay, so you're confident that you're going to go to the playoffs?
Yeah, per se, I feel very confident that we will be able to make it. Yeah.
And who do you think is your greatest competition for as team-wise, a different team?
Well, there are very many good teams in the league, and that's why it's very important to bring it every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that our biggest enemy, I would say, would be ourselves. That we have to overcome our bad spells, kind of, and we have to play our best every game.
Well, thank you, Kai, for joining us. That's all the time we have today on the Kodiak Report, and we'll see you next time.
Back to school means back to the courts, not the legal courts, but the basketball courts. Some of the college's Kodiak athletic teams returned to action this week. We go to David Opinko now, who updates us on the basketball team's performances so far this season and where they hope to go. David?
Thanks, Kiana. The Kodiaks have been a big attraction for the Lethbridge College over the years. I had the chance to attend last weekend's basketball games to see what kind of changes were made since last year and what plans the team has for the rest of the season. The Kodiak's women's basketball team has been virtually unstoppable this year. 9 of their wins so far were by 30 points or more. The Alberta Colleges Athletic Conference has both the women's and men's teams ranked #1 in the South Division. The Canadian Collegiate Athletic Association has the women in 3rd place nationally and the men's 6th. Both the Kodiak's basketball teams are hoping to be contenders for this year's ACAC Championships. The ACAC Championships for basketball will be held March 5th to 7th of this year. Should they qualify, the teams will then attend the National Championships in Hamilton, Ontario. Chris Mon of the men's basketball team has all the confidence in the world they'll do well. He says this year, he's part of a truly special group.
I can pass the ball to anybody and I can guarantee that they're going to make the basket. I have faith in every one of them. I have confidence in them. And then on the defensive end, I know that if I guard my guy, I know that they're going to be guarding theirs, and that there's just a lot of confidence in our team.
Another person with confidence is the coach of the women's team. Brad Caron says he is optimistic about his team's chances this spring.
You know, it's easy to say we want to win nationals, but I'm realistic. You know, I want to do as well as we can and put us in a place to where we can get there. So, you know, we want to win the league and do the best we can there and just kind of go from game to game.
For the most part, the lineups for the Kodiak's teams have remained consistent. However, men's coach Ryan Heggie says 2 of his players were forced to leave the team over the winter break.
We've got an academic standard that they just didn't meet the academic standard of the Lethbridge College athletics.
This year's Nationals Championships will take place March 18th to 21st.
The next game for the Kodiak's basketball teams will take place January 18th, 23rd, and 24th when they face the Sate Trojans.
So, David, how have the Kodiak's teams done so far this year?
The men have won 11 out of their 14 games, and the women are currently undefeated. Both teams have an average of 82 points per game.
Who have been the highest scoring players on each team?
For the men, that would be Chris Mon, who's made an average of 16 points per game. For the women, that would be Allie Cameron, who's made an average of 22 points per game.
Thanks, David.
Did you make a New Year's resolution this year? And if you did, are you sticking to it? Some reports claim that 19% of all people who make New Year's resolutions drop them within 24 hours. A further 19% drop them within 7 days. So what happens to those resolutions? Sarah Striga went to Lethbridge College Fitness Center to see how people were handling their New Year's resolutions.
Sloan McDonald sees it every January. The once slow and open gym that she works out in becomes packed with people, all looking to start a new year off on the right foot. Some point to their New Year's resolutions for their motivation, while others attribute their newly found fitness enthusiasm to just realizing that it was time for a change.
I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions. I don't think you need a new year to start fresh again. I made these goals for myself just so I could be more fit, health conscious, and take better care of myself.
Although the fitness industry commonly refers to the increase in gym memberships through January as the Healthy Black Friday, memberships typically drop down to their pre-New Year's levels by mid-February. Fitness professionals commonly blame the dropping of New Year's resolutions on many things, including pushing too fast, too hard.
Behavior goals. So you have your main outcome goal and different behaviors that's going to reach your outcome goal. That's what I would change. So that could be working out 3 times a week to not snacking late at night. Those are more things that you can control and you are in charge of rather than the scale changing.
50% of people that make resolutions drop them within the first month. So staying on the road to a healthier life is a mental, emotional, and physical challenge.
I think it's not seeing progress as soon as you'd like. They say it takes about a month for you to see progress in yourself, and I'm an impatient person. I want to see results like tomorrow.
Specialists say that in order to help yourself stay motivated, it is important to start off slowly and to not expect drastic results overnight. For eNews, I'm Sarah Striga.
The Lethbridge College Fitness Center offers personal training, classes, and programs for all levels of fitness. Wow, that was a pretty inspiring story. I myself, for my New Year's resolution, is going to eliminate pop. It's going to be harder than you think. What about yourself, Kiana?
I've actually looked into a vegetable cleanse not too long ago, and I think I'm going to try it this year.
Ooh, that sounds pretty cool. Well, that's all we have for today. I'm Jessica Goose for eNews.
And I'm Kiana Nelson. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.